About to start with our next session. Tech Talk, Getting Tech Savvy with Salon Operations is the topic of our next discussion. And in this, we will be discussing at length about adopting and integrating technology such as salon management software, online booking systems, and digital marketing tools for salons, use of technology to deliver high-class service, staff training in tech support, and how to measure your ROI and the impact on customers' retention. So all these topics will be discussed under this panel, and that makes it very interesting and very relevant for our audience here today. So I request all of you to please settle down as I am now about to call my panel on the dais. I would like to invite Mr. Vikram Bhatt, Director Enrich, to join us on stage. Mr. Sanjay Anishetty, CEO Naturals Salon. Can we please have you on stage, sir? JJ Savani, all the way from the UK. Nikhil Bhanushali, the co-founder of Ace Tattoos and Training Academy and Victor's Beauty Academy. Ayush Ahuja, the co-founder of Salon. And our moderator for today, Mr. Sachin Kamath, Senior Director, Zenoti. Can we have a round of applause for our panel? So before I hand over the days to Sachin sir, I would like to give brief introductions about the speakers. Vikram Bhatt is the Director of Enrich, and he needs no introduction. A business head through and through, he is instrumental in taking Enrich to the heights that it is on today, along with his fellow directors and a well-trained team. Thank you so much for joining us here today, sir. Ayush Ahuja is the innovative founder of a cutting-edge B2B platform revolutionizing the salon and beauty industry. He has a diversified exposure to business, and armed with a degree in mechanical engineering, he has worked across different sectors such as oil and gas, refineries, energy, and infrastructure. Thank you, Ayush, for joining us today. Nikhil Bhanushali comes with more than 13 years of experience. He is co-founder of Ace Tattoos and Training Academy and Victor's Beauty Academy. He looks at different departments such as business development, public relations, sales, and marketing. Having completed 25,000 client tattoos till 2023 and 18 awards nationally and internationally, he is operating studios across 2 locations in Mumbai. Thank you for joining us today, Nikhil. Sanjay Anishetty, CEO Natural Salon. Known for his innovative thinking and strategic acumen, he is poised to lead natural salons into a new era of growth and excellence. With a passion for customer experience and a keen eye for emerging trends, he is set to transform the salon chain, enhancing its reputation for quality and service. Thank you for joining us today. JJ Savani, a multi-award winning editorial and session stylist with over a decade of experience. He is here with us today. Thank you for joining us today, JJ. He is renowned for his work with men's hair, and coming up with diverse background in hair and beauty within fashion has inspired him to be diverse in all hair types and textures, both male and female. And finally, our moderator for today, Mr. Sachin Kamath, Senior Director, Zenoti. There is so much that I can talk about him, but I'm going to keep it very brief. He has more than 35 years of experience in brand building across B2C and B2B categories. Ex-Director Enrich and now currently heading Zenoti. He is a mine of information. So without much ado, I'm going to hand over the days to him, and thank you, panel, for being here today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Kanishka. That was so kind. And in fact, Kanishka has done one part of what we were put on the agenda, right? To do introductions. But before I get there, I want to set up why it's important to have this panel on technology. Okay. As she just told you, I currently work at Zenoti. It's a cloud software that powers the spa salon, gyms, fitness centers, business across the world. Nearly 30,000 businesses. And one of the few things that we do exclusively is we glean insights from those 30,000 businesses, because entrepreneurs find it very difficult to get relevant information of how they do, right? We call that the benchmark study. And one of the key things that comes out of that study is that companies that are faster to adopt technology grow much faster than the average of the domain. And there are so many examples. If you are adopting online, then a huge segment of your business comes through that channel and sets a lot of your team front office free to deal with the customers. If you're running a membership program that adds stickiness and does so much more for retention and so on and so forth. So, I want all of you guys to focus, because technology adoption is one way that your business is going to grow much faster than the others, right? While she helped me do introductions, one of the things I'm going to do is to ask each one of you to describe one word or a phrase that you would use to how you would frame as a leader your way of looking at technology. Because I think as leaders in this business, one thing that is very critical is how the leader looks at technology, and how the leader takes the team along has a huge impact on the entire org. So I want to start by asking you guys, give me a term that describes your approach, the way you look at technology and how you take your team through it. The way I look at it, for example, for me, I am like a kid in a candy shop when I look at technology. I love every new thing I see. I want to try my hands onto it, and I want to work with it to figure out how it works. Yeah. So we could start any which way. And the simple rule here, because we have a time, is that we shouldn't have more than a 3 seconds gap between one person finishing and the other person starting. You can begin anywhere.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. I'm Ayush Ahuja, co-founder of Salon. I'm tech savvy, coming from a technology background. So I have seen still there are a lot of gaps in the beauty industry, which through technology we can make streamline. Like we are targeting as of now tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where majorly we are targeting series B and series C category salons, where we found, because I'm ongoing on ground daily meeting salon owners, there is a majority of gap in the still, where we can through technology we can give them the technology where they can manage their operations, their inventory, their P&L, everything they can manage through technology.
So thanks so much. That is, so you call yourself tech savvy,
Yeah.
and you described how you see
Yes.
yourself there. Yes, sir.
So I would term myself as a student in the tech industry, and how I use. I would see convenience for me and my staff. So that is the first priority that I would have. Like, पहले convenience होना चाहिए, and also result oriented. Like, it should be easy to use for everybody, and the result orienting thing. And early, as you mentioned, the earlier we are in using the technology, like the even the softwares or even the AI that we will talk about. I think we have a cutting edge when we use it before anybody else. We have that cutting edge, to lead our industry in that.
You have the first mover advantage.
first movers advantage for sure.
Well said. Okay. Yes.
Short and sweet, revolutionary.
Say that again.
Revolutionary.
Okay.
A lot of people know me for my editorial, fashion, etc., but I actually own salons, and I'm more passionate about education. How I've adapted technology in the education sector. It's revolutionized the whole game. I'm not just talking online education, but it's things like learner evaluations, feedback, skills, taking out training needs analysis, having all that data from an education point of view. It changes the game completely.
So you're using technology to revolutionize the way things are done. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm Sanjay Shetty. I'm part of Naturals chain. So I'm pretty new to this industry, as I was.
But having said that, he's also, I think, the most, he's got the most stripes to be able to talk on this subject. He's the most qualified here, right? Yes.
Yeah, so I'm pretty new to this industry. I'm privileged to sit between the stalwarts and lot to learn and lot to do together moving forward. So the day I took over, like this is my 60th day, 61st day as part of the naturals. Day one, right? The first vision I given is like we need to adopt digital, right? So I'm a digital driver in my organization. Everything what we look in the eyes of data and digital. Those are two things what we use very often in the organization. So now my team, like when they talk to me in the morning, evening, they need to put something in a data or some kind of a platform or some kind of visualization. That's what we are driving. So I'm a data digital driver in my organization, and that's what we are just practicing that.
Digital driver. Great.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vikram from Enrich. In fact, in our case, I would say we are digital native. So me and Rohit, my friend who's sitting there, we started this entire Enrich journey accidentally with other friends. And out of this 25, 27 years, we are in this business. First 14, 15, we are part-time into it, right? So for us, technology then also was very important to drive few things remotely, right? And over a period of time, you keep learning. Yeah, we also worked with Zenoti for large part of it. So they were our tech partners since 2011, 12, till we moved to our own solution a couple of years ago. So a lot of it, our journey, be it our customer experience, be it our backend integration, be it our people management, be it our processes. I think anything and everything has got a tech has got huge role to play in enabling and powering each of these functions. So we cannot think anything else other than tech first before anything you want to do it to create that experience for our customer, to engage with our people or anything we do in our ecosystem.
Okay, so what you're going to be talking about is what you said is tech first.
Tech,
Okay.
Digital native, yeah, tech first.
Digital natives. One of the things I would want each one of you to focus on is we are now going to look at this subject in 3 parts, and as we go through each one of those, what I want you guys to focus on, because you are practitioners and you are leading organizations, and that's what a lot of the audience is also intending to do and needing to do it on a day-to-day basis. Please touch upon your practical on the floor examples, because we always know that there are plans and then there is the reality, and how you manage to take your plans and put them into implementation is where the whole thing is, right? So first part, what I would like to ask each one of you, I want you to give me examples of how you have driven technology in your organization. Please give me an example or two and tell me what has worked when it comes to implementing technology, when it comes to making sure that one thing is to have a leader that understands tech, who's a digital native, who's tech savvy, who's a student, who's a revolutionary. But how do you then make sure that you drive digital, right? So can you give me examples of that, please? So that each one of us here can also get an insight and can also learn. Whoever can go first.
Sure.
And the next one follows. Yeah.
So first I'd like to say that as a beauty industry, it's a very traditional, high touch and different consumer preferences. Today, I would like to emphasize on a statement. We may not get into the business of tech, but tech is going to soon enter our business and push us out. That's going to happen very fast. Today, the consumer preferences, like especially the larger part of the audience whom we customers target group are millennials, right? Millennials are very typical community. They get driven by things digital fast, because today we all live in a world of content.
True.
Because we consume a lot of content, and as the salon industry is also transforming today, gone the days you think of a paper ad, you think of a flyer, you think of an hoardings, ATL, BTL. Today, if you are not on Instagram, you are not creating a content reel, you are left out. Someone is doing that, right? Because that's where entire customers are just following, right? The entire digital, the content is driving the market. It's very, very important for us to understand the psyche, the behavior, the needs and appetite for these consumers.
True.
So today, my founder says like, and it's for everyone, right? We are in a business of 52-week business. Our business changes every week because we look at a weekly revenue, we look at the weekly feedback, we look at the weekly performance. That means every week there is going to be some change happening, and that's where we're going to learn from that feedback and how we're going to adopt. So today, digital tech, what I call is inevitable in our day-to-day life, which I think like quite a few of us have realized it, and that's where we are trying to talk about it and adopting it. And second thing, today, if you see, every boardroom is talking something called AI. I will like to touch upon it later. And beauty tech. Beauty tech did exist even 10 years ago. It's nothing new, right?
Yes.
Today, I say beauty tech is advanced beauty tech. It's going much more deeper, much more wider, and it's going to much more high touch in the segment. So maybe I would like others also to talk and learn for myself, like how are you adopting tech in your.
So you wanted to know some example in the past.
Yes.
So I recollect, I think 99, 2000, 2001 maybe. Remember Reliance had integrated with Tally. That was the first time, and I think a lot of you probably didn't.
The accounting software.
Accounting software, where we realized the power of tech, where we could actually integrate entire billing process into one place and you can analyze that, right? That was a big thing. You keep some instrument there and then in the evening you run some program and it will integrate. I think the second best what we realized is the cloud solution, which was in 2008, 9, 10, and then that was one of our prime reason to get associated with Zenoti, because we had 8, 10 salons by then. We have 80% of our revenue comes from membership, and it was feeling so. Now it sounds stupid, but so restricted that my member can go to a branch A, can avail all the benefits there, but branch B was not aware of it, and that was a need of getting cloud solutions. So all our clients, they see seamless experience, they get all the benefits at any of outlets they choose. That was a phase 2, I would say. The phase 3 somewhere 14, 15, where quite a few things are happening in a manner where customer doesn't want to call you, right? But they want to visit. And one thing I would want to emphasize here, thankfully, we all are in a business where tech has enabled us,
But it can't take your meal.
but it has not replaced our business. A lot of consumer businesses, tech has replaced the business models. In our case, if we do it right way before what we do, and we take a good advantage of what we do as a post facto, then it can help us really great. So this mobile booking, then booking the appointment on the phone and putting our customers into different places, from then integrating entire backend system, BOM. I think the journey keeps evolving. And one of the biggest learning we have gone through is that you need not be the first one to think about any great idea, but we all need to be quick enough to understand that
To
idea
adapt.
and adapt and execute in a manner where it is actually getting you to the right direction.
So this is a very interesting thing, which I'd love you people to note, that everyone talks about first mover advantage. But even if you miss the first mover advantage boat, if you're fast to understand and adapt, that itself is great. And maybe you could actually avoid a mistake or two of the first mover, right? You want to give us some examples, Jason?
So an example I've got in my salons at the moment is I've digitalized everything to the point where I have no front of house. I have no receptionist. I have no front of house. Firstly, we don't do product sales. The people that work for me are creatives. 9 out of 10 times creatives want to be creative. They don't want to be doing all this back end work, booking clients, canceling clients, calling up clients, taking payments. No. Everything's digitalized to a point where all of our clients pre-book online. You prepay online. So if you book an appointment with yourself for tomorrow, the money's already in my account. So I know he's coming. Whether he comes or not, it's not my problem. He's not paying for a haircut. He's paying for the time. Because too many times, I think in our industry, we're not valuing our time. We're valuing our service. Yeah, the service is come and go. The time's not going to come back. So everything is pre-booked, prepaid. All my staff members see for the next 6 months who's booked in when, whatever. They can now, from their phone, click on there, put their breaks in. They want to go on holidays, they book it in. And they can see everything together. Within 5-10 minutes, they come around and say, look, I booked my holiday. All I have to do, I don't have to say, check my emails, this and that. Let me just bring up the app. it will show on the app, okay, 2 people offer at this time, you guys arrange it between yourselves. Everything from client management's on there. So there's, you come in, had a haircut, you've already prepaid, you've left, thank you, whatever. 3 days later, automatic email sent out, how was your service? Rate it 1 to 10. Give us some feedback. What would you like? What is it you weren't so happy with? And we start collating this sort of data. It even starts collating data as how often is that client coming? He used to be weekly. Now he's only shifted to every 2 weeks. He's now only coming once every 3 months. Okay, he's starting to slip. Let's send him a reminder. Let's put an offer in or whatever. So technology, we've completely digitalized the whole business, you know, and that's just shop floor. Going on to like social media and content, that's a different ballgame altogether.
So everything from, this is a very interesting example. You go to 100% appointment booking, 100% prepayment. You focus on the time of the creative stylist. That's what you book, not the service. And then everything onwards is automated almost to an always on kind of scenario. Very worthwhile. Yes.
Of course, the softwares that we all are talking, everybody's familiar of. I also have manual touch to it though. Because it's more of tattooing that I do. So we need a personal consultation. Even for semi-permanent makeup, which is very new in India right now, there's a lot of consultation that goes in behind educating a lot of people. So we have a combination of tech as well, but then we keep that manual touch. So because that person is going to come to me because I understood that person very well. That I think AI still is, but it, you know, as he says, it's good that it's not still replaced us. So I would want to keep that edge of being in touch with the, you know, my clients as well, and to keep that edge because recently, I mean, some years back, you know, we were seeing these machines who do tattoo when we enter a hand inside a machine and a tattoo comes out. And I was like, is this going to happen? And you know, I mean, it's art which is never going to be replaced by any of the tech. And I want to keep my hand up on the tech on that note.
Okay, he's just balancing the other end of it. Yes.
Yeah. So I will tell you a short story. Like I belong to a small town, Yamunanagar. Last week I visited there. There are still salons. Like I went to them. I told them like, boss, कि आप अपने salon कैसे manage कर रहे हैं? They are still like वही पुराना book खाता copy चल रही है. उनको they don't have any knowledge about technology. So they told me like you are coming with a tech platform and you are about to replace us. So then I told them and make them understand like how we're helping you, how we're trying to bring you like a platform where you can manage your inventory, you can manage your salon operations, you can manage your P&L. So it will take definitely time, but technology is not gonna replace. Technology is gonna give the boost in the beauty industry where they can manage their, and we are making the life easier of salon owners.
Yeah, just to add a point to that, Jay mentioned about the confluence of touch and technology. And I think our industry is so beautifully placed for technology purely because technology will take on all those tasks that you can't do with touch and leave you that much free, that much informed and that much insight driven so that you can do the job of the personal touch much better. To give you a simple example, take med spas. Today, you need to maintain a whole host of data, consultations. I did a consultation today. Tomorrow they went to this outlet. They can't do the consultation all over again. But if there is a documentation in the system of all the consultation with all the data, somebody else can look at the data and pick it up from where it was and take that ahead. So branch 1 to branch 2, all kinds of forms. And these days, for example, med spas, there is a legal requirement. You need to be HIPAA compliant to make sure all your client data is there in one place. You need, for example, before after photographs so that you are not just doing this to inform your customer, but to document that what we did actually worked. Here is the before after picture. Goes on record. It actually goes a long way in reassuring the customer, increased stickiness. So technology in a way is ticking more than one box of customer service, customer experience, documentation, making sure across the chain there is consistency. You know more and more over a period of time about the customer, and that is what gives you the opportunity to respond to every need of that customer in a manner that they don't ever have to repeat that story to anybody else, right?
Just want to add one
Yes.
important point is so any business, consumer driven business first will always start with consumer first. That how can I increase my experience? How can I improvise? How can I create next level thing? But over a period of time, especially in our industry, it has become so integrated that even our professionals or of our technicians now are so hands on that they know when is my appointment schedule, what kind of color I did in the past, what kind of consultation I did, what skin my customer is maintaining. Now, those things have made an individual professional's life so easy and swift,
True.
which ultimately adds to your experience, right? So not only it has created great experience for the customer, but it has also enabled capability and the expertise of the back-end team.
It's doing multiple, it's
role, yeah.
ticking multiple
It's
boxes.
actually completing the circle.
Okay, moving on to the next part. Here I want you guys to focus on two aspects, okay? And the main aspect on this is, we know technology evolves so fast. Before you are able to adapt to one thing, there is something new that comes up. So you're saying, I am still in the process of integrating with this and I've come across something that is slightly better. So what do I do? So my question to each one of you is, and give me your personal experiences and how you have navigated this, because I know there are no set answers and there are no easy answers to this. What would you prefer, or what have you preferred, to build or to buy? What have you preferred, integrated solutions or solutions that you can plug and play using API calls and stuff like that? Are there some areas where one works better, one doesn't? In the long term, does something work better? In the short term, something works better? What has been your experience? Yes, please.
So,
and we'll go this way then.
in fact, if I talk about Enrich, we have gone through pretty much every possible option where there was a local solution available. From that, we moved to a cloud solution of Zenoti, worked very closely with them and got the benefit of great customer experience or back-end strength, efficiency, processes, all that. But we reached to a point where, about 3 years ago, where, as I mentioned, our 80% of the revenue comes from members. So our loyalty program becomes so personalized, or our focus also got extended to even the product business, and we felt a need of having our own solution that also bring in some learning. Even when we implemented the Zenoti and the software, then there was some learning process there. What I would kind of summarize this as a learning is that it always depends on what kind of strategy you do it, and every strategy will have a trade-off, right? Something was
True.
right then, we did it, but then there's something keep evolving. So even today we are running our own solution, which is quite integrated, very easy for our people on the ground to manage it. But we reached to that level where we could afford to take a risk of putting huge investment into the process, have a patience to make it correct over a period of time. So I would say there is nothing right or wrong. Having experienced both sides of the world, it's more of how you make it your priority, your strategy, and ensure that whatever you do it, give your best, so at least you get the best out of it.
Okay. And as I move ahead, I want you guys to add two more aspects to it. One is, tell me what has worked better for you. Try and add an example of something you got right and something you got wrong, because I think there's a lot of learning from stuff you don't get right also. In fact, that teaches you more. And third, how do you measure the ROI on your tech investment? So 3 questions. What has worked better for you? Integrated, plug and play, build or buy, do your own, whatever. Within that, an example of what went right and what didn't, and how do you measure your ROI? Yes.
There's always a question comes to a lot of people when it comes to buy versus build. So, is it better to build a Zenoti kind of solution in-house, or that we talk to Zenoti and just partner? Because we are not in a core business of technology, right?
Yes.
That's one thing. Second thing, the other opportunity I see today is like this industry as a chains, products, everything, right, can create a lot of IPs for the brand. Because today, when you say brand has 3 aspects, right? Brand overall value, your revenues, and overall valuation.
True.
Today, valuation is part of the thing, because though we started as a passion, very traditional approach, today the world has changed. No one wants to run the business for 100 years. People want a valuation, and a lot of big VCs, Ps are eyeing on this kind of segment, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the opportunity is there to create wealth for everyone. That's where the entire industry is transforming, because we are started as a traditional and going towards the tech enablement, as you rightly said, need not be like tech what we do it. But there could be a tech, if you find any IP possibility, I think you should go ahead with it. Process IP, product IP, or it could be any other data IP. I think the data innovation possibility is very high in this industry, which we should look into that, right? So it all case to case, where you need to partner, buy it, subscription. Where you have to build it. Because the build what you're doing, it should be worthwhile, either create an IP or add to your valuation. So that decision have to be taken based on that kind of.
So how you will measure ROI is the impact on your valuation?
Absolutely. See, ROI is again a very intangible form, because today a valuation doesn't have a base. Today, customer satisfaction level, when you go to your Google, Instagram, the top ratings, right? That is also an ROI. My rating on my Google page is a great ROI, because people value that. Revenue ROI is different, because two things, right? It's not just the capital invested. It's also the intangible benefit what we get, right? Sometimes it's direct and indirect. The measurements could be different for the product, for a service, or for overall the brand, right? It's what metric we follow that matters. Yes, ROI have to be measured. Finally, end of the day, like the measuring have to be, what I'm trying to say is two aspects. One is revenue aspect, other is non-revenue aspect, which in turn builds your valuation across.
Also, some solutions might work for you for that point in time. Like for example, take your business, like Salon. It works very beautifully for your target segment, which is the smaller towns, the businesses who are for whom it's not easy to get all of those things on a platter, and in a single window you are able to give them to them.
No, definitely, as you said, like we started as a B2B technology platform where they can buy the inventory. But then when we went on ground, we understand like they had a problem with the inventory solution. They don't know how to manage their load. Then we decided let's launch the software for them. And then apart from that, we are also at Salon, we're giving them the digital marketing services so that they don't have to go anywhere. Because for Series B and Series C category, mostly owners are the managers. They are doing everything. So their main focus is to focus on customer experience is main, rather than focus on the बहुत आज मेरी इन्वेंट्री खत्म हो गई यार, मैं उस पर फोकस करूं कि मेरे को अपना सलोन कैसे चलाना है, ऑपरेशंस कैसे मैनेज करना है. So that's how we decided to give them everything on a single platform.
Great. Coming to you, you are a operator. So what has been your experience? What has worked for you? How do you measure it? Anything that has worked? Anything that didn't work?
A lot of things that didn't work, for sure. So I tried, I made that mistake of creating myself, but then you realize, you learn. And of course, you were not as you said, at that point in time, whatever works for you is nice. And then you evolve and then you change. And then we had I went to the extreme. I went to, creating myself. And then I went to the extreme of having a most expensive software, which also did not work because I didn't have that big team to have that ROI matched. It was too expensive for me. And then you realize, okay, plug and play will work. So I think it'll be individual to every person. And at that point, what is your vision? Like where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Or if you want to do a valuation for yourself, of course, that has to be added in your funnel, because if you want to see the ROI of that particular investment of yours, you will also see whether you're going to be adding that to your valuation at that time. So I think with all that mixing, I think we came up to a plug and play solution where we easily get, because you guys have worked very well and hard enough to build something for us. I'm not in tech business. You be in the tech business and give us the solution. I think I would be on the receiver's end and I'll be happy to be there, I guess.
Great. Anything you got to add?
I think going back to what everyone says, where you need to buy, you buy. Where you need to build, build. Where you need to plug and play. From our end, we've got a plug and play which manages all the back end, like I said, the bookings and everything. But one of the mistakes I made was going about 3 years or 4 years ago, when everyone came out of COVID lockdown. Through that time, I thought, you know what, we're going to create our own app, our own branded app, so clients can come in, download from App Store, Google Play Store, all of this. And the big problem, I thought, you know, everyone's come back from lockdown. They're going to download the app Booking because they all want haircuts. Did not work. Because how am I going to market that app to the masses of clientele that we do not have? Our existing clientele were downloading and using it. So it was then having to reevaluate. You know what? This is more of a pride ego thing rather than putting that aside and thinking with a business head, do you know, I have to buy a subscription. So I bought a subscription to one of the most well-known apps that's there, which now our clients, existing clients are using that anyway. They put everything through and then the plug and play API transfers everything to our system. Lekin we're now able to also target clients that have never come to us before as well. You know, so.
Very interesting. While on the subject of measuring how well technology works for you, I started in the beginning by saying Zenoti has this whole benchmark report where we analyze the business of about 30,000 businesses that we run so that individual entrepreneurs get some kind of a benchmark to say, people like me, how well are they doing? How do I know? One classic example I can give you is when I was earlier at Enrich, we used to run a quality initiative. So we had a benchmark saying if one of the outlets is doing 85%, they are very good. Till the time we realize that there is competition next door. If they are doing 90, 85 is not good. 85 is only good by itself. So every business needs information and data for themselves and they need to know along with the others where do I stand. So one interesting thing I want to share with you is at Zenoti, our customers in a real-time, always-on basis on their software, they have a dashboard which shows them value signals. It shows them two kinds of signals. Signal one is, it tells them this quarter, on the basis of the features that you have used, this is the additional amount of revenue that you have been able to earn. That is signal one. The second signal it gives you is a business signal which says, businesses like yours are doing well in A, B, C, D, E. So you can actually figure out and say, okay, in A and B, I seem to be doing much better than people in my cohort, but maybe in C and D, there is scope for me to do better. So I am able to actually prioritize. Now, the ability to do this comes only from the fact that we manage so many thousand businesses and we put in the investment and the hours behind crunching that data and making all that available, right? But I urge all of you guys to keep always one thing in mind. Technology is a very interesting, very huge investment, very valuable, gets you up. But you should also always measure how well you're doing and how well is that investment working for you. Coming to part 3, and this I think is the most interesting part of technology, which is the rate at which it's evolving. You're talking about this is coming in the future, and then you're already at a place you're saying this is not the future, this is now. Okay. And one of the things we keep hearing everywhere these days, across categories, there is so much of time and space in all mediums that it is taking, is this whole discussion about artificial intelligence. And I was very, very intrigued and amused to learn that the term came up the first time. The term artificial intelligence was coined, you know when? 1956. Right? 1956. But it's come, now suddenly you're seeing it because there has been like an inflection point and the software now has large language capabilities, so you can get the software to do by asking them questions the way you would ask another human. Right? At Zenoti, we made some very interesting investments in the last few years. We've already launched 3 very interesting initiatives which use AI. I'm interested in knowing from you guys first, how do you see it and how are you actually using it in your business? I know there is, whenever I talk to prospects, I talk to customers, there is always this thing saying, here is something interesting, I need to know what to do. I don't want to miss this bus. I want to be able to do it. So, any one of y'all can go first.
So currently, we are implementing AI with client retention and client management. So anything done in the store is done by our stylist. However, outside the store, it's all managed 90% of the time by AI. So the AI tool is able to see how often my clients come through the door, what services he has done, on what days he has these services done, whether it's a beard trim, and he works out a pattern. For example, he comes in, he has 2 beard trims, third time he has a full haircut. 2 beard trims, full haircut, and then 8th time he'll come in for a full service, skincare, facial, etc. It gets to the point where you can even find out when his birthday is because with the details and all sorts, favorite football teams, etc., etc. So when they're on the app or the chatbot, it will automatically send out something saying, do you know, I can see that you've got this coming up. It's been a long time since you haven't had a beard trim. Would you like to book in? They literally click on the link. Hi there, I can see that you want to book in. Is it probably going to be, you want to book back in with JJ? As you're aware, and then that AI in real time will pick up my calendar because I'm in and out of the country. JJ's unavailable. However, I saw you had a beard trim with Kyle 2 months back. Would you like to book me in with Kyle, etc.? So it just enables the flow to work so well for us, you know.
Okay, very interesting.
So I'll see AI as not only in terms of the back-end software that we're talking about, but in terms of the art also. So many years back, I was looking out for a software where somebody has a tattoo design in the head, and how can he visualize it on his body? And I was thinking that I was trying to make a plugin in my website where people could come and be engaged there more. And so that kind of AI was very fascinating for me at that time. I'll talk about like 4 or 5 years back. I was like into it. I couldn't make it though myself. And then I see a lot of apps doing that like day in and day out these days. I'm like, that was pretty quick and pretty effective rather than me creating it. But these were like things that my customer would look out for. Although now it's so common that it's no point in having it on my website because there are more apps doing it than me. So as you said, a lot of people feel that FOMO of missing that bus of the AI. But I think it's a big long journey. As fast as it is moving right now, like I want to see for a female, want to see how their eyebrows would look before getting it done. How exciting would that be? But I think the AI is still evolving and at a very like an amazing space. By the time I see what comes in the market and I apply it, there's a new thing that is already come up. So I think this is going to be a journey in the next 2-3 years that is going to be very fast. But then whoever catches the bus does it, I guess.
So how do we catch the bus?
Yeah, so first I would like to say one statement, and the fact is like we are not learning the internet. Internet is learning us. Every device you use, every filter you use on Instagram, every action you do online is been recorded. That's where the power of AI comes into the picture, right? We all heard about generative AI, right? The news is now generative AI is outdated as of last month. Today, AI has so many variations. They're calling it as advanced AI, narrow AI, narrative AI. It's the new jargons are emerging, and I'm sure like don't be surprised by this year end you'll get something called beauty AI, specifically only for our industry. I'm sure it must be there somewhere. We are not aware. Somewhere, some corner, someone must be using that in a very efficient way. By the time it come to us, it may be outdated there and will be a new thing for us. That's what the entire technology drives from the West. By the time we come and it's new for us and something else comes, right? And today, yes, in the coming weeks, I should say, not even years, that AI is inevitable part of our life. It's already there. As I said, like internet is learning us day in and day out. Today, the device, what we wear, the phone, is observing from morning to night what we do, what we eat, what we perform, all these things, right? And the huge data sets have been created. The same thing you take in the beauty industry, like it's a very strong use case, right? The skin profile, the beauty profile, the hair profile, the cosmetic profile, which is a huge opportunity for the businesses to leverage. I think AI is going to play a very, very prominent role in, especially in our industry. And I think we all have to be very attentive towards that. Don't neglect that, okay, let it come, we'll see, no. By time you want to think of it, already you are out of the race. So we need to keep thinking the futuristic, not 5 years, 10 years, 6 months down the line, because the tech is growing very fast every month on month.
Yeah, so just to extrapolate on what he was saying, he said these things come from the West, and the largest footprint of customer or the largest base that Zenoti has is in Northam, and we have the largest enterprise businesses there. And I would dare to say that our investments in AI are probably the largest that there are. And one of the key insights that we have learned, which we try to propagate, is what our founder calls AI first. And I think that's before you come to any tool, it's a mindset that makes a lot of sense to kind of implement. So that's what I would like to suggest. What do you mean when you say AI first? When you say AI first, what you mean is whenever you need to do something in your business, first give AI a crack at it. And if AI can do that for you, if it is something that is, and currently in the
Transactional
whole
in nature.
generative AI, the curative generative AI kind of space, chances are that AI can do it for you faster, with lesser errors and far more efficiently. It actually leaves you free to do more of what you can do that AI can't. So try and put yourself in the AI first mindset. Then what he said about technology is learning you more than you have learned technology. So AI is nothing but the years and years of data of us using the internet has got curated, and that is what is being used to now with prompts help you to. So there is always this thing, will people lose jobs? From the time you got a bullock cart to a motor engine, from there to get industrial machines to the computer, all through people said you will lose jobs. Yes, some people lost jobs, but then it create maybe 5x, 10x number of jobs in that place, right? Chances are we're going to see more of the same. So if you use AI first, that seems like a brilliant kind of opening mindset to have. And there are solutions, like I said, we have launched some, which are something as simple in very practical terms. JJ spoke about what all the client has done. So we have a solution that we call, for example, Hyperconnect, which just gives you, it's an internet enabled phone connected, and Zenoti is an integrated solution. So it's connected entirely to all parts of your business. So you are able to see exactly what each of your customer is interacting with your business across. Whether they're making a booking, they're putting something in the cart, they've gone to put a Google review, they have sent you a feedback, and your manager who till now was stuck just on the appointment screen is now got this dashboard with this timeline, and they can respond to that customer real time right there. And they can respond with standard templates that they can tweak, and imagine the speed of response that you can get. And as a customer, not just to spas and salons, but to any business, what irritates me is having to wait for them to get back. And for them to say, you know what, I'll have to check and get back, give me a little time. This system is able to tell you what is happening. People can query the system real time, and they don't need to be coders. They can simply say, check the reward point balance and check if today's service can happen using points. Yes. Okay. Does this validity go? So all the kind of things that you want, including analysis, marketing campaigns, all of that can happen. So even as we talk, there are systems, and what fascinates me is each and every phone call that your team does can get recorded, transcribed. At the end of the day, you can receive a call summary which says so many calls went well, so many calls there was an issue. You can use that data to actually train your team. Did you ever have any of this
Is one
earlier?
step further, where it can actually generate an answer, and you need to just check the answer. It can.
I will tell
do
you
that.
in 2 months'
So
time.
80-90% of the job can be done.
In 2 months' time, you know what is the one that's fascinating me is till now your people have to lift the phone and speak to the customer. In another few months, you will actually have an AI assistant to do that. Which means the calls will be answered by an AI assistant. I have tried that. I couldn't figure out whether it was a human or not. and it interacts with the system and it has all the answers that
I
you
have
need.
a slightly different view on this because our business is also of emotions. Our business is also of relationship. Our business is also of repetitive nature. So while we all talk about the AI, maybe 3 or 4 things I want to bring in. What I think about AI. So one thing, AI can bring in some ring today, from something to the band to now ring, where it is able to kind of track our vital statistics, right? But can it reach to a level
You are
where
talking about the, instead of a phone to, instead of a watch, it can
no,
track
ring
all
has
your
already
vital
come.
signs on a ring.
Ring has already come.
Yeah.
I'm talking further, where that ring will, or that instrument, or whatever that touch I have on my body, will help me. What is the nutrition level of my face? What is the what you call follicle of my hair, and what's the life of my hair going to be based on my lifestyle and my nutrition and my food habits and my sleep, and then it will actually help customer more what you call attentive and caring about themselves. Like today, fitness, like, I want to run. I know I want to. Sir has been covering 10,000 steps. Today's is 1,080 day without a break, right?
True,
So
true,
he's
true.
been able to do with
True.
the technology. So I think those things are very important where AI can help. Having said that, keeping that soul in the process is also equally important, right? Don't expect that these guys will do anything. Obviously, they are going to do it, but how we can ensure that there is some emotion into it, how there is some touch into it, there is some interaction into it, and that's where our business will benefit from.
The emotion will always be there, because we are simply saying get all the drudgery work done by technology. So if you are there, by all means take the phone. But what happens when you have 4 calls coming simultaneously? Do you miss the other 3, or will you get that attended and get that solved? Right? So
Couple of other example can I give?
yes,
So
please.
one is that we also make the process participative, right? Today, maybe our customer is not equally, but they were probably one step ahead in terms of their self-awareness about the beauty business, right? So in that case, anything which I do, if I make a participative process, whereas, oh fine, I'm going to scan it and your face and this and that, whatnot. But if I make a process where I get some input from them, and then derive some solution which
You
can get to
co-create the solution.
co-create the solution. Here, the important point is to create that participation process and get the ownership and ki boss, I am part of it. Most of it today, like boss, I'm expert. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. Those are the gone days.
Great, thanks so much. What I'm going to do is, we've got I think 8 or 10 minutes. I'd be very happy for this panel out here to take any questions that you might have. We are lucky because we have platforms, we have creative folk, we have tech experts, we have SMB people here, we have enterprise customers. You actually have a wide range of options to pick and choose from. So throwing the session open for questions. Anybody? Yeah, Kanishka has a question.
So with the use of all this technology, what is happening is you're getting a lot of data. How do you handle that data? How do you analyze it? How do you put it to use?
The question is for whom?
Anyone who would like to take the answer.
Do you want to take that first, Sanjay?
Yes, today, as you rightly said, unknowingly, we all sit on heavy data, right? Customer data. It's not just on the billing part or service part, right? You go a little more deeper on the profiling part also, right? Yes, a lot of people are sitting on heavy data, but how do they make use of it? There are 2 ways to look at it. One is, how do you process this data, but the objective have to be very clear. What do you want to do with this data? The most common objective is, how do I increase my revenue? Because for example, like there are 10 customers came once, but they never came back, right? Then how do you bring them back? Can you do a targeted campaign? Yes, possibility. Second thing, you have 10 customers who are coming very regularly, happy customers. How do you level up them? How do you make them increase their average that spend? If they do 1,000 rupees an average billing, can you take them to 1,500 rupees? It's possible because of the data too. Third, what I am suggest the people to do is like something called data innovation, which is very important aspect. Like how do you work on certain models, right? Today, one thing you used to identify is said about signals. To identify signals today, again, you need not use any advanced technology tools. Simple, take Excel, MS Excel, the download from your POS. You have to put a simple metric like what you need to identify in the signals. My low performing salons, my low performing average billing size. You can go narrow down on the customer level, service level, billing level, region level, and you think what is that innovation you want to run on that, right? You want to see the two things, right? One is management point of view, one is a marketing point of view. Management point of view to understand the decision whether capital is going in the right direction, and the business point of view, the marketing point of view, is my marketing budgets are giving me the right ROI. So objective have to be very clear even before you touching the data. Once you have the clarity, then you process it where and how you want to do it, either for the your overall growth level or the revenue level.
Got it.
I think the question is more of, see, we come with the era that what am I supposed to do? From that, we need to know what I'm actually doing, and your dashboard and your data analytics and everything is able to do it, how to do it. Now we are getting into the phase where we are saying, how fast can I do it? Because your RAI rather is going to help us. Boss, the data crunching is going to happen, and it's going to do the data mining from the past experience, some millions of bits and this and that and whatnot, will give you 10 actions, right? From those 10 actions, these are the 3 I would focus based on my expertise and my customers' need. But how fast I can do it is important, right? So now the picture is clear, and it's going to be 90% clear that what am I supposed to do, but how fast I can do is going to be the key challenge for all of us.
So just to put it simple, right? Every business, if you're a 2-location business, 5-location business, you can't afford a data scientist, you can't afford a data analyst, you can't have a marketing whiz working for you, right? But today, with your data and using some very simple generative AI, you can have answers to these questions. You can figure out, if I want to, every month, this has been my best quarter. If I want to repeat my best quarter, what are the 3 actions that I need to take? Which are my top customers that I need to be able to ensure that they keep coming back? All of these things.
So we moved from that language to the code to now prompt, and now next could be even voice.
Yeah.
So if you master that, there is answer available.
So actually it is simple. You don't need, you are now in a situation where you don't need to be a software expert, you don't need to be a coder, you don't need to have this kind of intelligence. You can do with this kind. Cool.
Thank you.
But this kind of intelligence will be able to understand, implement, create and execute much
so
faster.
People like me can use it.
Much faster.
Even in
See,
our
you,
case,
you guys are domain experts. Without you, I'm nothing. So we have to work hand in hand.
True that.
even in our case, like in the, we're targeting mainly Series B, Series C category salon. So we have data. We know in like Ambala, but L'Oreal कितने salons use कर रहे हैं, कितना maximum consumption हो रहा है. We have all the data. With that, we are helping the brands, but to launch, because we are not a product company, we are a technology company. So through that data, we are helping the salons as well, like what they have to launch next, which market is consuming which brand. So that data we are helping the brands as well as we are giving the education to salons through that data.
Okay, I would like to know from JJ and Nikhil, how are you using the data that technology collects for you?
So data is basically everything that we're talking right now is to predict the future, is what I understand. Like everything that we do is either make our life more easy or predict what is going to happen in the next quarter, or क्या करना है आगे.
Help you get things done.
At least visual, like मुझे पता होना चाहिए कि ये 3 महीना मेरा कैसा जाने वाला है, ये 6 महीना मेरा कैसा जाने वाला है. So with the help of AI, once this is done, so what we do is, obviously when we predict and we know that it's not the future, but it's just the probable almost future that अच्छा ऐसा होगा. And when I know it in advance with the use of these technology, I can certainly change it or excel it. So I think we use it in terms of like the revenue also, and also what are the new things coming up, and the generative AI that we're using these days will certainly help us change the future. I'm not too not talking to sci-fi kind of stuff, but yeah, that's it. We are living in it right now. Yeah, the strategy that we're using. So I think the question that you're asking is data को हम कैसे analyze करेंगे? वो ये कि हम future जितना पता चलेगा हम उसको we can move in that direction very well. Is what I use the data for.
Yeah, there was a question here.
So, sir, I just want to know the insights, like to remove or to eliminate and to automate the entire process. If you want to remove or eliminate the reception desk or the front desk, and what if we automate the entire process from the customer to the consumer? So, how is that going to affect? Or I want to know the opinions of everybody.
JJ just told you that
I've
he's
done that.
already done that, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible to do.
It's possible to do. It works for me. Like I said, the team I run are purely about creativity and education. They're like me. I like creativity. 3 things I like in life: creativity, freedom, money. How I achieve that, I would take guidance from industry professionals. Like going back to your question, I'll take the data, I'll run plug-in tools, which will tell me my most profitable months. How do I achieve that? Where am I lacking? So I myself will get that data, I will get that knowledge and move on to that path, which allows me to focus on the creativity at the end of the day. It is possible. It takes time. Like the amount of people we had coming to our salon, walking in. Can we have a walk-in appointment? Unavailable. If a stylist is free, come in. Click in. On the front desk, on the iPad, enter your data, your card details, make the payment, and you can have the appointment in 5 minutes. Because it's all about capturing data. In the industry we're in at the moment, the data is the king. The person with the biggest data pool, the biggest network, that's using that and manipulating that in the right way is what's going to allow you to grow.
So by
Yes.
So by adapting this sort of a technology, aren't we missing out that human touch
I
and
was
emotion?
actually coming to it.
So you asked a question. If you want to eliminate it, there's nothing I can do, right? I'm telling you that's possible.
No,
but
no,
what
but,
I would do is I would first free up the front desk. Our business is all about personal touch. The front desk was never meant to be behind the appointment desk. They were meant to be on the floor and connect with the customer.
Yes.
Get them to get to understand what they needed and to make sure you got it for them. So what I would do, rather than eliminate them in the short run, is to free them to do what they were originally meant to do.
I think going
It's
back,
all about, one is execution and second is creating that experience along with the execution. Now, as long as you're able to keep that level, be it our technicians or our professionals are able to still keep that connect and right emotions, then a lot of transactional. Today, our technician can make a bill. Those are the days where receptionist will make the bill, will book the appointment, right? So a lot of automation for the back-end processes, a lot of automations for billing, which is transactional in nature, can be easily replaceable. Diagnosis can be replaceable, but the interpretation of it has to be still part of the process.
So to answer your question, the personal touch in JJ's case is done by his creative people.
yeah, exactly.
And any customer loves to have a discussion with the creative person, not with the manager.
No, I think
They
going,
enjoy the discussion with the creative person because it's about what are you going to do with my hair today? What are we going to achieve today for my skin?
but I think going back to that, I've removed the front desk. Where the front desk is, there's no front desk. It's chairs set up facing each other, which forces you to communicate. It's the experience from door to entry. That's the least. I've ensured there's communication all the time.
First 60 seconds or 2 minutes, customer is not feeling lost.
Doesn't feel
Somebody
lost.
is
They
attending,
feel
somebody
like
is
they
doing
see.
it, yeah, which is very important, right?
They feel at ease. The worst part of you going to do your hair is what? Going to the counter and making the payment and thinking, I've spent this much. What's your most favorite part? Entering the salon, seeing a familiar face, feeling comfortable and having the result. So focus on that experience.
Yeah,
Cool,
one more,
so-
just want to add to that.
Yes, please.
It's about nothing about automation, the iTouch, right? The research says that, like, one of the biggest problem a lot of people are going through today is loneliness, psychological problems, emotional well-being challenges, right? And the recommendation, one of the things, grooming is one of the best recommendation to make them boost. So today, today grooming centers, I see futuristic grooming centers. Future is not just for your going for a party. It's for making you feel that feel good factor. that chemical, right? The positive chemical comes out, right? When you look yourself in the mirror, the person admires. Self-admiration is the biggest positivity, right? Which we all are contributing towards that. No technology can change that. It have to be eye touch, human to human, face to face.
Lovely.
So
I like that.
I would just like to close it.
Yes,
We
please.
have we don't have consulting like a desk consulting. We have coffee tables at our place. So we have pool table at our place. Of course, the place is very different. So we have pool table for clients to play and feel comfortable. And we have counseling sessions. We call them consultations though. So everyone who comes for a tattoo or an eyebrow has a story behind it. How painful the eyebrow, when she was feeling low on herself, and she shares that story about she got rejected by somebody because her eyebrows were not good, and you connect it, and then that client is going nowhere. So you can't miss that connect anyhow, but then the rest of the work can be done by the technology for sure.
Okay, I am very, very grateful to each of these gentlemen for participating and ensuring that we had what I think was a very interesting conversation. I'm hoping that it was an interesting conversation for you guys too. Happy to have you extend the conversation with these gentlemen post the session. But for now, unless you have any more questions, thank you so much, people, and thank you so much, audience. Yes, sir. Somebody give him a microphone, please.
We have Salon, which is like fully humanized. You only deal with humans. Now there are Salon like Enrich and Naturals, where you are working on hybrid model, where you have human touch as well, technology, which is driving the business. When are we going to see a salon which would be 100% tech-based, like maybe robotic completely? Is it in your sight?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
no,
I think you want to aim for that.
It kills very much purpose of our life, and feeling good, feeling great, feeling important, having self-esteem, having instant gratification. Those things no technology or no tool can bring in, right? We talk about Amazon, who's created, you pick up anything, but how many? That is more for story. That is more for
I know.
getting the inspiration and getting the extremes, not to implement or change people's life.
Recently, I know in the US, a lady got married to a chatbot, an artificial chatbot, because they said, he listens to me. He does only what I tell him to. And he never ever takes off on his own. But fact is, all of these things are still aberrations. Right?
Would you like to have an hospital without a doctor? Enter into an hospital, get operated without a doctor? You like that? But doctor have to be there, right? In between, like the entire same thing. Like you can't have any without a stylist.
But I'm happy with the level of engagement and the kind of questions we are having.
So one
Thank you
last
so much,
question.
people. Thank you, Kanishka.
Thank you. Thank you. It was an amazing panel. Round of applause for the entire panel. I request Ayush to step forward for a memento, and the rest of the panel to please hold on to their chairs for another 2 minutes. Ayush, please. Step forward.
I am holding on to my chair. You want me to hand it to you? I will hand it to you. It's okay. JJ. Sanjay. Thank you so much. Thank you. group photo with your lady in the center. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for your
With
time.
that, we are breaking for lunch, and I shall see you again at 2:30 p.m. for our next session.